Hey everybody, it's Chugga Conroy, and welcome back to more Pikmin 3. Last time, we began our adventure here on PNF 404, in hopes of finding some food. Unfortunately, we encountered a 404. Crew members not found. All we had to go off of was a call from Brittany, one of our crewmates. This time, Alph has tracked down Brittany's signal to a new region of PNF 404, the Garden of Hope. We're heading out there in hopes of finding her. However, I'm also very concerned that our cosmic drive key is now missing. If I don't find that, the Drake won't be able to fly fast enough to get us back to Kopai. That would be very, very bad. Understatement of the year, good buddy, considering the fate of an entire planet rests on our success. Okay, I don't mean to put pressure on the little guy, I'm sorry for that. Okay, so while we're aboard the Drake, we have a few options here. We could just go about our day and land in the Garden of Hope immediately. We could also go to an earlier day. This functionality was present in the Wii remakes of Pikmin 1 and 2. If you don't like how things are going, you're just not able to find enough food fast enough, or you just had a big loss of Pikmin or something like that, you can go to this screen and go back in time. It's really nice because you don't have to reset your entire playthrough in order to do it. We can go back to an earlier day. We don't really have any reason to do that because, yeah, we didn't lose any Pikmin or anything like that. You are able to see your stats as to how many of everything that you've collected as of that point, so you know exactly what you're going back to before you click it. A nice little detail, though, that I wanted to draw attention to is that you can see it shows us as having 7 days worth of provisions as of the start of day 1. Alph mentioned in a cutscene that they brought a lot more food than what he was able to find after the crash landing because he only had 3 days worth of provisions at that point. So, nice little detail that they actually showed that on this screen right here. They could have just shown the 3, though, but no, they really did show that they had more. Other than that, there are some leaderboards. Best 5 right here just means your personal best 5 attempts at clearing the game. Pikmin 3, or just Pikmin in general, is a bit of a speedrunner's paradise, so it keeps track of all your stats, how fast you're able to clear the game, how few in-game days you're able to do it in, things like that. There's also global leaderboards for that kind of thing, however much fruit you're able to collect, all that stuff. But we don't have any reason to do this. I'm just gonna go right back into day 2, and I am doomed to view that opening cutscene once again because, well, it does actually restart the day completely whenever you go to that screen. I decided to be nice and not subject you to watching the same cutscene twice. Another thing that we can do aboard the SS Drake that I wanted to go over while we're here is checking in. This is similar to the barracks in Fire Emblem if you've played that. These are conversations you have among your crew members, but Alph is kind of all on his lonesome, so he's gonna do what he does best. Talk to himself. I still can't shake this awful feeling that there was something more to our crash than we know. It felt almost as if some power from the planet's surface was manipulating our ship. Gravity, perhaps? Okay, no, I know he means something greater than that, but it just kind of sounds that way. I believe that's the only one that you can view right now. Okay, yeah, he's just saying the same thing again. One more for good measure. Okay, yeah, he is saying the same thing 3 times. So, either that's all he says or I have terrible luck, and we could believe either at this point. Well, last thing that I wanted to do is that if we try selecting the region we were exploring yesterday, the Tropical Wilds, then try to land there, Alph nags us. He's like, this is where our crash landed. I need to look for Brittany. That's way more important than just going to some beach. Okay, well, he has a good point, actually. We wouldn't really be able to do anything there if we were to go there, you know, at this point. So, let's go look for Brittany. We have made her wait long enough for us. Let's just go land. And land on the incredibly gorgeous surface of this planet. Seriously. You're gonna hear me just gushing about the visuals a lot here. We get a simply, once again, gorgeous view of this flyover of the Garden of the petals, the grass, just the water, everything. It's so pretty. Bet your sweet bippies I'm not pressing plus to skip. Who would do that? Speedrunner, that's who. Not that I'm knocking speedrunners at all, just they would do that. Well, Brittany should be around here. Something is flashing on my map. Maybe it's her. You hope that something that is flashing is Brittany. I'm just gonna leave that there and not go any further with it. I'm running out of sustenance, so I hope I find her before it's too late. He was saying that he sees something flashing on the map. If we tap the gamepad, we can get an aerial view of our surroundings. Anything that we have not yet explored is not visible. However, on the map itself down on the co-pad, you can see that there is a wireless signal pulsating from around here. So that's the general direction that we want to head in, even though we can't see what is around it. And in that general direction is a place for us to build a bridge. So I bet you know what our first order of business is going to be. Looks like the onion has followed me here. So where are the Pikmin? Well, it followed us here. Might as well make the Pikmin do our bidding all over again since, well, they're here to be exploited. Let's grab them. Of course, I'm going to get all 21. Why would I do anything different? That guy got stuck on the leg of the onion. Who does that? That's right, the data file. I've unexplainable. The onion is the Pikmin's nest. This right here, one of my biggest complaints with Pikmin 3. Not the term Pikminology, that's hilarious, but we had to do this just now. There was an on-screen prompt saying that if you press A under the onion, you can call out or return Pikmin. Why did we need a data file for this now? We can't view this any sooner than this point. So why even make it? I don't know. I'm going to install an application onto the Copad that lets me check the Pikmin status remotely. This, however, is more useful than any data file could ever hope to be. Okay, at least more helpful than 99% of all data files could ever hope to be. The Pikmin Info app. I'm trying to tap it, but it's not letting me. Please, thank you. Yes. Everything is paused while you're in this, so you don't have to worry about getting attacked while looking down at the Copad. We have 0 Pikmin in the onion and 21 in the field, and out of those, it'll tell us how many are in our squad, how many are working, and how many are posing sexily by the side of the street. I don't know why I'm so obsessed with the word sexy lately, but I don't know. It's fun to say. This app can either be really helpful or really not helpful. You can play it safe and just keep your Pikmin with you at all times, in which case you're not going to really need something to keep track of them like that, but if you're like me and you multitask a lot, then you are really going to be using that app at least some of the time to keep track of what your Pikmin are up to. And speaking of which, for me, the name of the game really is multitasking. Well, okay, the name of the game is Pikmin 3, but you know what I'm saying. It's just generally a good idea to multitask in this game. So I have those guys working on the dirt wall over here. I took out this enemy while they were doing that, and I'm also building up my numbers, and then I'm also going to get these guys to work on these fragments. This guy, whose existence I didn't even acknowledge until after he was dead, is a dwarf Bulborb. Think of them like the Goombas of the Pikmin universe. They're a very common enemy. Throwing a Pikmin directly into its back will instantly kill it, and yeah, you're just going to be finding these things a lot. This thing can what can be loosely described as an enemy is white spectralids. This, you just throw a Pikmin at it, instantly dies, doesn't even attack you, and you're a jerk and kill it so that you can get a Pikmin out of it. Well, I don't know, I kind of like to think of that as an improvement, because it was clearly a defenseless creature, but we grinded it up into a Pikmin, and now it can defend itself, because it can at least do some fighting. I mean, that's an improvement, right? Or maybe it was an innocent creature and we took its innocence away. Oh well. What's not an improvement, however, is this data file. Once Pikmin are done transporting fragments, they will return to the original location of the fragments. You don't say. It's not like we had to do this yesterday during the tutorial and saw how that worked then. So why are you giving this info to us on day 2 when it would no longer be helpful? Okay, just saying it straight up, I don't mean to be overly negative, because I really do like this game, but the data files are my biggest complaint with it. They are just the least helpful mechanic in a lot of situations, and a lot of their help just comes way too late, or they're in places that don't really make sense to have it. So, yeah, if you hear me complaining a lot about data files, once again, that's why. But, just so I'm not overly being negative, I really do have to compliment this particular day. This is when I feel the game gets good. Speaking of which, here's one of the reasons. We have a new enemy right here, the Bulborb. This is one of the nocturnal predators that we heard about yesterday. It's asleep right now. So we can get the edge on it by sneaking up on it. And this tells us about hiding. Because its line of sight is from so high up due to it being a tall enemy, it's unable to see us when we're below low plants like this. So if we want to retreat to below these things, it won't be able to see us underneath it. Knowing that, however, I don't really think we need to do any sort of stealth or anything like that. Let's just charge at its bum and make its butt as sore as it is red! Sorry, I just love bum rushing these things. Literally, we are bum rushing it. It's just really fun. It takes 10 to carry this back, but it's well worth your time. You are going to get a lot of Pikmin from killing a large enemy and taking its corpse back. Once again, just try to balance how many things you want to take back and how many Pikmin you want to dedicate to those tasks. Because it's still early, I'm going to be building up my numbers. Those guys will work on the dirt clod wall, and I'll just come back here and do a bit more multitasking. Come on, guys. Walk a little bit faster. Maybe I should have put a few more Pikmin on it if I wanted to be effective in this. I don't know. Some speedrunner would probably tell me, like, oh, the most effective is, like, 13 or something like that. But, again, this is not a speedrun. I am trying to be at least somewhat efficient by doing some multitasking, but... Oh, wow! 45 Pikmin, okay. I knew we were gonna get a lot from that, but I didn't know exactly how many. I don't have all the yields of what enemies give you memorized. I think dwarf Bulborbs give 3, but dang, a mature Bulborb gave a lot. I know that dwarf Bulborbs and real Bulborbs are not technically related if you want to get into the genetics of this game series, though, but we'll get into that later. I don't really want to waste too much time. Let's just go past this dirt wall, and right over there. Oh no! Brittany's just lying there. I hope I'm not too late. Pick up, Brittany. Pick up. Please still be alive. Okay, this phone call makes no sense. She's not holding onto the copad, and there was not one sitting on the ground in front of her. How are we talking to her right now? Well, okay. Important thing is, she is alive and she was just trolling us by taking a nap looking like she was dead. Why wasn't I moving, you ask? Well, you know me. I'm a pretty sound sleeper. Because, you know, she was getting beauty rest. She winked when she said it. She knew what she was doing. Even though the creature's creeping around, she still has time for her beauty rest. But never mind that. Listen, I discovered what looks like a piece of fruit. It's over there. But I'm kind of stuck here for the time being. Could you go and check it out for me? You bet we can. We'll help you out a little bit later, but for now, let's see if we can find that fruit. I just love jumping around in spacesuits. Then again, that's kind of what I would do if I were an astronaut. Wow! It's even bigger than I thought it would be. If this giant thing really is fruit, then we hit the jackpot! I'd like to analyze it at the Drake, but how do I get it there? Well, Alf, it's the funniest thing. You seem to have forgotten that we are in the possession of a giant squadron of very loyal minions who are in the business of carrying things. We'll get them to work on that, and over here. We can see that Brittany is on the other side of this wall, but if we try using our Pikmin, no avail. Need to throw a specific type of Pikmin to break this wall. Well, gee. Only place we can go is this cave, and we can't get to Brittany unless we have that specific type of Pikmin that Alf was just mentioning. I really hope we find what we're looking for in this cave. Oh my god, what is that in that crystal? It looks just like an onion. What is that thing? Why, Alf, it is a new enemy, the Medusal Slurker. This enemy bugs me to no end. This is an enemy that is a giant floating purple jelly-like thing, and it has what appear to be Pikmin inside of it, and it's able to suck Pikmin up into its body. There was an enemy pre-existing in the Pikmin series that did this, the Greater Spotted Jelly Float. Why did they not just bring that over into Pikmin 3? Why did they design a new enemy for it? And maybe it is because I'm bitter because the Greater Spotted Jelly Float was one of the prettiest enemies in Pikmin 2, and I'd love to see what it looks like in H-frickin-D. Sorry, tangent there. Oh yeah, we discovered a new type of Pikmin. Rock Pikmin! Are these creatures Pikmin 2? No, Alf, they're Pikmin 3! And he says they're giving him a funny look. I think that rocks with eyes would kind of be giving you a funny look just from in a state of being, just saying. Well, we'll whistle them to our sides, and if we throw them at this crystal, we can see that it does significantly more damage than when they were just simply running at it. Rock Pikmin work very differently in combat than red Pikmin. Rather than latching onto something and repeatedly attacking, they do a lot of damage on the first hit, but not so much after that point. You're gonna want to keep whistling them and repeatedly throwing them. Pack a real punch. So their onion was trapped inside that crystal. Since I have two types of Pikmin now, I can select the ones I want to use with C. Select the Pikmin or person you want to throw using C. Gee, way to spoil that Alpha's gonna be using yellow Pikmin data file. Okay, no, that's not really all that unusual. I mean, we kind of already used yellow Pikmin with Captain Charlie, but still. I just like making fun of data files. I don't know, I get some kind of weird enjoyment out of it. When I want to split them up by type, I'll use Sexy Waggle. I'll go with that, to dismiss the squad. Don't know what it is with me and Sexy once again. I should not have whistled them back. We have exactly 6 Rock Pikmin. It takes exactly 6 to carry that. Where are my... Okay, you dismantled my reds. Nature is unforgiving at yesterday's foe being today's food. Rock Pikmin are very hard, like rocks. And you guys made fun of me for giving the advice rocks are rocks in a video once. Just think about that. They felt the need to put that in Pikmin 3. Pluck all these guys. They do have a separate onion from the... Oh! Good timing. I think you knew what I was going to say at the end of that sentence there, so I don't really think I need to go on. Oh! The Drake is sending us a message. Analyzing recovery. Sunseed berry. So it'll give it a nice name for us, and then it will juice it down so that we can get our provisions. And sure enough, from just finding our first fruit, we have gotten 1 day's worth of provisions to make up for what we ate last night. Large quantities of Pikmin U. Seriously, not even being subtle about that. This is a seed-bearing fruit, making cultivation on Kopai possible. Juice from this fruit is safe for consumption by crew members. And there we go. Back up to 3. I'll add a fruit file to the Copad where we can store the results of our analysis. Get another overly dramatic installation effect. And there it is. The last app in our tray, the fruit file. I'd really like to tap on it. Alf! I was about to tap on it and you interrupt me. Since I don't know much about plants, I'll ask Brittany to write the report. She is the botanist after all. Got to establish that. Now let me tap on it, thank you. This is not really that helpful of an app. It just tells you how many of each type of fruit that you've collected. It's kind of good for completionists if you want to see what fruits you're missing. It'll tell you how many units of juice you will get from collecting that particular fruit, but since we don't have Brittany with us, there is no report yet filed because she's yet to come into contact with it. It's a nice detail, I suppose, and it does give you some humorous stuff. It's a lot like the Picklopedia in Pikmin 2, but I'm not going to be spending a lot of time in it personally just because it's more of a side thing than anything else, and the Picklopedia, I think, had much better flavor text. That aside, though, we're just going to break open this crystal. Had exactly enough Rock Pikmin to do it. It was really good. New sprouts will be the same color as the Pikmin that retrieve the pellet or creature. Yes, this is actually very important to remember. First off, the Rock Pikmin's base is in this cave. It is not over by the ship, so keep in mind that if the Rock Pikmin carries something back, it's gonna go over here if it's gonna sprout new Pikmin. In addition to that, let's say that something takes 3 Pikmin to carry back. If you have 2 reds and 1 rock carrying it, then it will go to the reds. If you have 2 rocks and 1 red, it'll go to the rocks. Keep all this in mind when carrying things back. Generally, I'm gonna be keeping things to the... Those reds didn't even bother helping out, even though they could have helped out. I mean, there was space for them to carry. Oh, well. In addition to that, you might have noticed that when I put these 1 pellets into the onion, they sprouted not 1 Pikmin, but 2. Those pellets are gray. If you match the color of Pikmin to the color of pellet, then you will get a bonus Pikmin out of it. So you're going to want to make sure to have those pellets go to whichever Pikmin the color is, should you want to get as many as possible out of it. Of course, you could always just give it to whoever needs it the most, and I probably will be giving most of the spoils to the rocks today, but still. With that done, though, we have 22 Rock Pikmin. Say we get to work on this crystal wall. Generally, you want to focus your fire, if you want to call it fire, it's not even really like shooting them, on one section of the wall because it's cracking about the point that I'm throwing them at. Do that, and come on, guys, thank you. Thought it was going to take a lot less time than that. Get a data file right here. What are you going to tell me? Press A to throw at a wall? Rock Pikmin inflict extraordinary damage when thrown directly onto an enemy or object. Yes, they are very good in combat for the same reason they were when breaking those crystals, so keep that in mind whenever you're fighting with them. Here we are. We have found Brittany. She can't break through this wall, but you know what? We happen to have some hard-headed sentient minions who love banging their head against crystal. Well, okay, they probably won't be sentient for long if that is their favorite hobby and pastime, but I won't question it. It might just be a cultural thing among Pikmin. There we go. We broke her out. We've gotten Brittany. They're so happy to do backflips in their lead boots. Can't imagine that's easy. I can't tell you how happy I am to get out of this place. I'm sick of sleeping outside, and I'm super hungry after one night of it. Okay, to be fair, she's on an alien planet. That would be pretty crappy. What's with your entourage there? What's that you say? They're called Pikmin. They're cute. But we don't have time for cuteness right now. Look over there, Alfie. You say we don't have time for cuteness, that you give him a cute nickname. Come on, Brittany. Just making it sound like you want to pinch his cheeks right now. Let's work together and nab that huge piece of fruit. Alright, here we go. So we heard that we can change what we want to throw with the C button. We can select the type of Pikmin, but we can also throw another captain. We'll throw Brittany over there, and then we will give her a few Pikmin. Once we have done that, we can press minus to switch over to her. Press minus to switch leaders. Gee, data file. Way to spoil it. We're going to have a green character with a mustache. Gee, I wonder who that could be. Okay, now. Split into 2 squads to match your workload more effectively. So, once again, you are able to do a bit more multitasking when you have 2. And with that, we're going to toss these red Pikmin up there and retrieve that. So this is just one of many examples of how you'll be able to multitask now that we have 2 captains. I kind of want to see what this data file says right here just before we do this. Throw teammates to places that can't be reached on foot. If you notice, this data file looks like it was made by somebody else. These 3 clowns would look familiar to any Pikmin veteran. I won't even be coy about it. But back on the field, I want to draw attention to this little homestead that Brittany was able to make. She has that little canopy made out of leaves and all these petals arranged to make a bed. She really turned this bucket into a home. It's about as nice as a bucket could be. And what is this guy doing over here? Exactly how did you get separated from the group? I say it like he's going to answer me out loud. Sorry about the cut there. I was humming to myself for a little bit over whether or not I should split this day into 2 parts because it's been going on for a while and we're only a little over halfway done. As you can tell by the length of the video, I decided to continue. I want each day to be its own separate video though, but just keep in mind that not every day is going to be this long, so yeah, we won't have as many cutscenes or tutorials on later days. This is just an early one, so it's going on for a little bit. We're going to use our rocks to smash these, well, rocks right here, and we have a new enemy that is once again already dead before I even get to say its name. This is, I believe, a Scutterchuck is its name? Oh, that thing, yeah, Scutterchuck, I guess I was right. They're enemies that are completely harmless if you attack them with rocks. Their only way of attacking is by crushing Pikmin. They won't eat anything. So don't go in fighting them with your reds, we'll just say that much. You can crush the rocks near them so they don't have anything to pick up, because if they smash their rock, well, you can always, have them pick it up. Up there is another Sunseed Berry. I don't want to carry that back quite yet. Instead, I want to focus on building this bridge right here. Already got to work on those fragments over there. Just going to charge all my guys onto this pile and get that going. We are making a lot of progress, and I actually have more Pikmin than I even needed for this. I guess I could have afforded to have a few more on fruit carrying duty, or heck, even corpse carrying duty, as grim as that sounds. Let me guess. Another data file that I'm going to make some kind of angry remark at for not being that useful. Let's check it out. Bulborb's eyes are its weakest point. Oh, okay. This is a new mechanic in Pikmin 3. You are able to attack different parts of your enemies to get different results in battle. If we were to attack the eyes of that giant Bulborb from before, it would have reacted differently than us just simply bum rushing it. However, it was asleep. We could have snuck up on it, so I didn't see any reason to go about attacking it that way, but we definitely will be attacking Bulborbs like that in the future. That bridge is the very reason why I didn't want to take back that Sunseed Berry right away. If you watch the... That guy was like running circles around the other ones doing hard work. He's just like, I'm gonna make fun of you for working hard. Yeah, they are not going back the way we came, but instead crossing this bridge, and we can see that, we have made ourselves a shortcut all the way back to base. Pikmin will always take the shortest possible distance back to base. In some cases, they might carry things past enemies when you don't count on them to whenever you've made a shortcut back without realizing it, so keep that in mind. Break this. Come on, guys. Come on. You guys can do better than that. Break it open. Come on. Yeah, there we go. Let's go over here. Now, what could this be? The radar's picking up something, yeah. The radar's detecting a signal of some sort. Maybe it's a new type of food. Are you guys sure that you exhausted your food supply and didn't just make it radioactive if you're used to your food giving off Wi-Fi signals and saying, hey, there's a signal coming from over there. Maybe it's edible. Just a hunch. Let's go and look right away. We're probably not going to be able to make it that far because if the map was any indication, that is a really long distance from where we are right now. So we'll get as much done as we possibly can, but I'm not counting on making it all the way there today. This right here, though. This is a very important data file. Go here. On the Copad's radar, align the upside-down pyramid with your destination and touch go here to start moving. How strange to find such a data file. Okay, there wasn't like an A prompt there. Come to think of it, radar did have a go here feature. We should try it out soon. It seems like it would be helpful if we decided to split into multiple squads. This is a really useful mechanic and a big time saver, and I would love to show it off right now, having somebody go back to that, to the Rock Pikmin onion, but we don't want to do that right now. You'll see why in a little bit. For right now, though, we have a new enemy, Fiery Blowhogs. As you can see, they are not able to burn our red Pikmin. Believe this data file. Yes, red Pikmin are resistant to fire. Unfortunately, rocks not so much. You might be wondering why rock Pikmin wouldn't be resistant to fire, considering that you can't really light a rock on fire too easily. But, as much as a rock might be fire resistant, that leaf on their head certainly is not very fire resistant. You know, if they can't perform photosynthesis because that leaf on their head is burning off, does that mean that when they're lit on fire, they're not burning to death, but rather starving to death? That's kind of a grim thought. Pelts sprayed by the Pikmin of the same color produce more sprouts. We've already seen this earlier. I think I'll just give this to the reds. There are legitimate advantages to raising red Pikmin. I did say that rocks do a lot of damage because of their initial hit, but reds are able to latch onto something and keep attacking it, so they're definitely good at fighting in their own right because of that. We go over here, and on the opposite shore, there are materials for building a bridge. I bet if Alpha and I work together, we can get it done in no time. Have a bit of an arrow here with masking tape. Shame on you for not using duct tape for everything. We'll just toss Alpha over there. We'll give him, I guess, all of our Pikmin. I don't really think I need to have many Pikmin with Brittany. We have some back at base anyway. And right here, this will be when I show off the go here mechanic. So I'll direct Brittany back over here to the red onion. She'll go there automatically, and any Pikmin that are with her will not fall behind. They will automatically walk at the same speed as her. I know, would be really nice if they did that all the time, but unfortunately, it's not possible for whatever reason. Don't have to worry about Pikmin falling behind, and when she goes over to the onion, if I can show it after I'm done doing this, she will start doing any sort of task that a captain is capable of doing on their own. For instance, if I switch back to her, she is already plucking those Pikmin automatically. Oh, we're getting interrupted right here telling us it'll be sundown before too long. Alf, didn't you mention that nocturnal predators will attack any stray Pikmin? Sorry to interrupt myself here on my tangent, though, but this right here, where was this in previous Pikmin games? Seriously! Any Pikmin that are not at base or with a captain will fall prey to the predators when the sun goes down. This defines what counts as base. Where was this in previous Pikmin games? So many times I had Pikmin like right next to base carrying something back and they got left behind. Seriously, where was this? Took you 3 games, 2 remakes to finally do this. Sorry, I'm just really, really happy as much as I sound angry. Make sure Pikmin in your squad are close to the onion or when the sun sets, all others will perish. Good to note. I'd better call back any Pikmin who have wandered outside my squad. Upon it getting close to sundown, that will flash up there letting you know that you only have a quarter of the day left, and you'll get this on-screen prompt giving you the exact number of Pikmin that are not with anybody at the moment. Go ahead and have Brittany do this. I'm not really too worried about leaving Pikmin behind. We're looking pretty good on that front. Only real thing that I want to do is just have Brittany do the go here command to go over to the rock onion, pluck those. While she's doing that, I do want to mention this because I know it's going to come up in the comments. Some people are probably going to tell me, like, hey, what are you doing? Why don't you just, like, leave them in the ground? Why are you plucking them? Your Pikmin will not fall prey to nocturnal predators if you keep them planted in the ground overnight, and there is a legitimate advantage to not plucking your Pikmin right away. I don't want to go too deep into this until we see it for the first time, but I'm mostly concerned with boosting my numbers, which is why I hadn't talked about it until now. Also, you might be wondering why I didn't do it on day 1 because there was no time limit then. It's because it doesn't work on day 1 in this particular Pikmin game. Yeah, it does in the first 2, not in this one. I still have 2 Pikmin that are not in my squad. I'm going to go ahead and look at the map really quick, see where those are. They are going to be represented as blinking dots on the map, so you know exactly where to find them. Where are they? Like, really, where are they? There's 2 rocks. Oh, they're over by Brittany's lovely home. Sure, that makes a lot of sense. Just in time for Brittany to get back to the rock base. We are doing very well. Oh, wow, okay, that mechanic that I was talking about, that legitimate advantage to keeping your Pikmin buried. Those guys that have buds on their head, if they're buried in the ground for a long period of time, they will naturally grow into their next life stage, which is buds. Goes leaf, bud, and then flower. Depending on what life stage they are in, they will walk faster than other Pikmin, and they are less likely to make mistakes. They won't trip on the ground, they won't do things like that. So it is good to remember that, and just good to keep them in general. Oh, they weren't in Brittany's lovely home. Sorry I mistook this trashy-looking petrified tree stump as your lovely home, Brittany. Sorry. Not to rag on your interior decorating or anything. And, man, you know, while this day is coming to a close, I don't really have anything else to do gameplay-wise that I think I could accomplish. We built that bridge over there and opened the way for us in the future. We got a lot done. I mean, this is not like speedrun material. A speedrun would have this entire area clear by this point, though, but I'm still really happy that we got all of this stuff done in this amount of time. I honestly thought that we were going to break down this wall and that would be about it, but no, we went beyond that. We killed the fiery blowhogs. We built this bridge to open the way to that signal for us to explore tomorrow. This was a great day. Didn't even lose any Pikmin either. I mean, the enemies were easy, and I don't mean to pat myself on the back too much because it is an easy area, but still. This went very smoothly. That is the end of the day. It is very strict. As soon as you see that 0, like, make sure you have everything because it just cuts, like, instantaneously. There's no fade out or anything. It's very unforgiving. Only I'll go back into their onion. And dang, we have nearly 100 Pikmin in our squad as well. We did a pretty good job raising them. Again, sorry, don't mean to pat myself on the back. I know this is an easy day. This is nothing compared to what we're going to be facing later on. Anytime you want to... There we go. I was just like, we're awkwardly staring at these Bulborb's aft ends. I'm just like, okay, I know they have very spotty bums that are very amusing, but do we really need to stare at them for that long? All right. Not just onion mating, but onion mating in space! Very interesting. The 2 of them merge into one. I'll have to make a note of this fascinating behavior. No, really, he had an unamused look on his face when he said that. I don't know why they used that portrait. Is he mad about having to catalog stuff? Let's analyze the other one, too. Face Wrinkler! Yes, these names of these items are absolutely glorious. I look forward to seeing these every time because there's always a few that I don't remember on each playthrough, and it just makes me laugh all over again whenever I see them. It's so pretty. Making me hungry looking at this thing. I actually like eating lemons on their own, so that makes me really hungry to see just a realistic shiny lemon. Looks like I can just reach out and grab it. Got another canister of food from that, and there's actually some leftover juice from that, so we were able to make roughly 1.5. However, since we have another fruit right here, the Sunseed Berry, it will pick up where we left off. So just because we didn't complete a canister doesn't mean that goes to waste. We were able to fill it up, and right there, That makes me so thirsty right now. I love strawberry lemonade, and just how it combines the colors of the juice right there just makes me want to drink it so badly. But unfortunately for me, I am not a starving Kapayat. I am a well-fed earthling, meaning that I don't deserve to get access to their rations. I know, the one time that I wish I was starving, yeah. I'll ration out juice. No extra gulps for anyone. This sucks to be Alf. He got a taste of what it was like to have one of those all to himself yesterday, and as a group, him and Brittany only consume one. So he had a taste of having one all to himself, now he only gets half. Poor Alf. Well, yeah, we got a juice buffer. We are looking really nice. We can survive on the planet for 4 more days, meaning we'll at least make it to day 6, assuming nothing else happens, and there's all that progress. Back on board, we ran an analysis on the fruit we retrieved and found it suitable for Kapayat consumption. Looks like there's plenty more where that came from. Reuniting with Brittany, finding this fruit. It's still early, but things seem to be taking a turn for the better. Alf. Next time on Pikmin 3, we're gonna head out for the Garden of Hope once again and see what is emitting that wireless signal. May it not be edible. See you guys then.